evening is gonna be a great time. Man and man, we're there. Welcome to the mailbox. Here every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. right here on the Love 101 FM. Welcome to another week here inside the mailbox. An exciting Billy. This evening I'm riding solo, but guess what? Blessings and salutations to the man them. Man and man, we they are from Moran Point to Negril. So listen up, ensure you shout up your brethren them, make them know say they can be a part of the discussion. Because in recognition of Child Month, today we are going to turn our eyes on a single father story. You heard me correctly. Single father. Many times we focus on single mothers, but did you know that there are fathers, men who are resilient and men who have this indomitable spirit and very committed to this wonderful yet challenging job of parenting and parenting alone, as it were. What makes him a good father? How does he balance the role of being a father? Personal life and work? Is he single by choice or otherwise? We're gonna have those questions answered. How much does his presence affect his child, and who taught him fatherhood? Was it life? Was it movies? Was it church? Was it society? Bible, his father? Well, I tell you, our fathers this evening are Karen Clark, gospel recording artist, minister, accountant by profession. Hi, Karen. Welcome to the mailbox.
Good evening. Hi. Thank you for having me.
Great to have you. Thank you for coming on. And gentlemen, I want you to encourage another man to listen up to, and ladies, please encourage the man them to listen. Then we have Gerald Lowe, Regional Director at Continuum Global Services. Sir Gerald, welcome to the mailbox. Hi, Gerald. Hi, Gerald, are you muted? Let's try again, Gerald. Not hearing you. I'm not sure if you're muted, but just want you to know, listeners, we have Gerald Lowe. He's Regional Director at Continuum Global Services, and we're gonna be hearing from him shortly. Let's try again. Hi, Gerald. I am not sure what's happening. Not hearing you coming through. I'm gonna try and work on that and see if we can hear. Karen, you're hearing me, right?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay, so we're gonna try and work through with Gerald and see. We're gonna get back, but as soon as you're back, Gerald, please let me know. It is going to be a great program. So man and man, we want to hear from you. Send your feedback or questions on Facebook, our Facebook page at Love 101 FM, where we are live. Yes, live on Facebook and YouTube. Leave your comments via our WhatsApp line, 876-997-3125. Or give us a call on our studio line at 876-968-8327. Ladies, remember you can participate in the program by leaving us a message via our WhatsApp or comment on our Facebook page. And ladies, remember, no calls or voice notes allowed, but encourage the man them to do it, right? This is our safe space, and boy, we like when the man them interact with us. So, man and man, what does being a single father looks like? Did it happen after a divorce or before marriage? What are some of the life lessons you learned doing parenting alone? Well, we're going to find out more on the other side of this break. It's going to be a very interesting, informative, challenging, encouraging, and empowering show. The mailbox. So we take a break. We'll be right back after this.
Advancing quickly. Life-changing opportunities are arising. You need need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
Life comes at you fast and it can hit hard. Apply for the Credit Union Prepaid MasterCard from CNWJ with chip and PIN protection. Need a card with a personal line of credit for emergencies? We have that. Need a card you can use to shop online for that must-have item? We have that. The community and workers of Jamaica Prepaid MasterCard. All the convenience of a MasterCard. Discover the benefits of belonging.
Listen for the Morning Watch Thursday, May 20 at 7 a.m. with host Reverend Dr. Dylan Toussaint. In the first watch, Jamaica's renewed push for electric vehicles. And in the second watch, government regulations, restrictions, and wedding woes. That's the Morning Watch Thursday, May 20 at 7 a.m. with host Reverend Dr. Dylan Toussaint. Right here on Love 101, the family station.
I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man. I am a man,
Yes, strong man, integrity man. I am a man. Welcome back to the mailbox on Love 101 FM. I'm Kevin Bailey, and today inside the mailbox, we've been having a discussion, a single father story, talking about parenting and a lot more. I have to say that big up to the men who are driving properly on the streets, men who are very courteous and polite and obeying the different road codes. But you really have some disgusting drivers, and I really want to point that out. And I want the authorities to take a look at Winchester drive, oh gosh, in the evening, like say 5:30. It's just terrible, man, and disgusting. And men, maybe we have to have a conversation, like how are we going to get rid of this indiscipline that is causing unnecessary lives on our roads, So we really want to big up the man them who are driving, with respect and being polite and all of that. But some others, we want to be able to talk to them so that we stop that, really unnecessary and not something we want to continue. Okay, so the main thing, and let me, again, if you're joining us on the mailbox, we're going to be looking at a single father's story, parenting alone, with a regional director at Continuum Global Services, Facilities and Project Management Division, Gerald Lowe. Sir Gerald, welcome to the mailbox. Gerald, we're still not hearing you. I wonder what's happening. Wow, we'll have to try and sort that out, Gerald. So we're still not hearing you coming through. Karen Clark is also here. Hi, Karen, welcome again to the mailbox.
Yeah, man, I'm here. Thanks for having me.
Okay. All right. So I'm really hoping that we'll be sorting out Gerald's connection. All right. So I have to shout out the man them, don't know. So after 2, we have to say Mandaya. 1, 2, Mandaya. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we have to give the man them a shout out, from Martin Point to Negril, because, from time to time you hear the saying, that no good man are there. They can't find no good man. But we want to say that's a lie. There are some great men who are committed to their responsibilities and tasks, and not perfect, but we are great, and we're there, and we're not running away. And this evening we have 2 men in the program. So we're going straight into what is called the draft, where we, in this preliminary section, we open the way to our main segment. And so we're going to ask you a few questions. What does fathering mean to you? Does the child not being able to live with his mother affects his or her development? What do you think? And is it harder to be a single father or a single mother, or both have their fair share of struggle? So you're on the spot, right? So, Karen, the question to you. Yes, Karen, the question to you. What does father mean to you? Does the child not being able to live with his mother affects his or her development, or live with his father? And is it harder to be a single father or a single mother, or both have their fair share of struggles? How would you respond to that?
Fathering to me is one of the most important things in a child's life,
Yes.
especially growing when they're raising boys. That is my belief. My biological father was not around while I was growing up. I met him when I was 25. But my stepfather, he did a good job. He did a great job, but I just couldn't um, connect with him as I knew that he was not my father. So up until
Yeah.
about 2 years ago, I kept saying that I was raised without a father. But then when I check it out, I say, I lied that I had a father from I was 3 months. It's just that I didn't actually look to see him.
Mhm.
Does it affect the development of the child? It depends on the
Yes.
kind of father that you are. I think it affects them somewhat, especially if the mother is just totally MIA. She comes around and she's there, however, you are the primary caregiver. I believe that it can work. But having both parents around together have its own struggles that the child will have to learn to overcome at some point in time or the other. The last question was, is it harder to be a single father or a single mother? Um,
Yes.
it's all right. Females don't come up. I think it's a little bit harder for men to be a single father. And
Mm.
even though both have its fair share, I think naturally women are wired to be nurturers and men are wired to be providers and protectors. So when it comes down to the point where your primary responsibility now is just merely nurturing and sometimes you're a little bit rough. Like for
Yes.
me, I'm happy I have a son and not a daughter because I am not a very soft parent. I'm a little bit rough at times. And
Mm.
I think that's where a mother would actually be softer and kind and more loving. I am just, okay, you drop, push, get up, keep it going. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
not that I'm going to be abusive or dismissive, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not always the most oh my god, my baby fell on the ground, let me kiss it. Sometimes
Yes.
we heal my man do it, but there are a number of times and yeah, I'm just not that, yeah. So I think it's
Wow.
different, but
Yes.
yeah, you can still win, you can still succeed.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you for sharing the way you have shared. And I think it's Carmen Locke from Rhodes Island bigging you guys up on the program. So really appreciate that as well. We're gonna have responses from Gerald Lowe, and Gerald. The questions are: what does fathering mean to you? Does the child not being able to live with his or her mother or his or her father, affect his or her development? Is it harder to be a single father or a single mother, or both have their fair share of the struggle? What? How would you respond to that, Gerald?
Hi, good afternoon. Are you hearing me loud and
Afternoon.
clear?
Yes, yes. Great to hear you.
I had a bit of audio scare earlier, but
I
I
tell
was
you.
able to change my device.
I tell you.
Apologies.
I appreciate that.
So I believe that a father plays a pivotal role in a child's life, and this stems from his or her moral development, but his or her intrapersonal development. No, I couldn't agree more that a father's job is to actually serve and protect his or her child. As
See? think we've lost, you know. We've
sorry.
lost you again. Yeah, you're back.
Oh my gosh, I must apologize.
No, that's all right.
I must apologize. So I was saying a father's role is rather pivotal in his or her child's development. Now, it is very hard to be a single father, especially when the child is a boy. And in Jamaica, it is natural for the boys to stick with their mothers and the mothers to and the daughters to stick with their fathers. I, on the other hand, have a son. And if you want to look at it from a nature aspect, in the wild, anywhere there's an animal, it is normally the babies following the mother and not the father. So you know that there is some psychological connection between the mother and a child. When the mother is not there, the father will have to do what I normally call a reversed role. He has to be the father, and also he has to be the mother. Now, I normally say to friends that father come in two parts, the hard scope and the soft scope. Any fertile man can be a father, but not every man can be a dad. So a father is, yes, a person can say, this is my father. No, if it's a stepfather, if it's a step parent, that step parent is not the father by biological means, but by caring needs. So he has to be a dad for that individual. It is very hard, but what I do is with my son, we share a passion, and that is music. So I buy all the musical instruments that I know both of us will actually love. And whenever he said, Daddy, I want to go to my mommy, I would say, come on, let's play music. I would give him the keyboard and I would play the drum. I would vice versa. And after 10, 15 minutes, he totally forgets about his mom. That is just my own way of actually substitute his mom.
Thank you. That's the voice there of Gerald Lowe. And we're going to be having some more deeper conversation with these gentlemen. That's what we call the draft. So we make way for the main segment, and we're going to go straight into that. Well, it's time to get into the main discussion of our program with our guest as we take a look at a single father's story, Parenting Alone, with Gerald Lowe of Continuum Global Services and gospel recording artist Karen Clark. No, gentlemen, thank you again for being part of this evening's program. We're now in the segment we call the Inbox. So listeners, our guest again this evening, remember, they are Karen Clark, gospel recording artist, minister, accountant by profession, and also Gerald Lowe, regional director at Continuum Global Services. Okay. These are some of the points of conversation discussion, and we're going to ask the gentlemen really to help us. We're going to look at, all right, gentlemen, think of it. What 3 words best describe you as a father? I want you to plan it now. What 3 words best describe you as a father? Yeah, let's start off with that. You know, what 3 words best describe you as a father? Yeah. All right. That Karen.
All right, so 3 words. Fun, understanding, and providing. There are more, but I chose those 3.
Yes, fun, understanding, and providing. Yeah. Did you say you have a son?
Yes.
Okay. How old is the son?
4 years old.
4 years. Okay. So you have to have lots of fun with him and lots of understanding. And you definitely have to provide, right?
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Gerald. All right, Gerald, what 3 words best describe you as a father?
Okay, the first one is understanding. And I too, I must say, have a 4-year-old son.
Wow.
And yes, and you have to be understanding with them whenever they're explaining a problem, or sometimes what they're saying doesn't really make any sense, but you have to just try as best as possible to understand with them and sympathize with them. The other one is passionate. I am one of the most passionate father in Jamaica, and I say that with enthusiasm. I am
Yes.
very passionate when it comes on the fatherhood and my son. And
Mm.
the last one is, and I have to steal this one from you, Karen, is to be fun. You have to just go down to their level sometime. Yeah,
Yes.
if they're playing if they're playing a game and in the Jamaican dialect, dirty pot, you have to be actively engaged inside of that game with them. So yes, I am fun as well.
Wow. Thank you. Boy, our listeners in for a treat, I heard some research, that said boys who are disconnected from their fathers, they are twice likely to drop out of school, twice likely to end up in prison, and four times likely to have emotional and behavioral challenges, things like low self-esteem, anxiety, depression, feeling of abandonment, rejection, etc. So, oh gosh, it is so very refreshing to hear you fathers, with this passion and commitment and being there, for your sons. Really just heartwarming. All right, so here's another question. Are you a single father by choice or circumstances? How did it happen? We're getting into your business. Karen, talk to
All right.
us,
So
yeah.
I don't understand the by choice part. But I'm not divorced and the mother is alive. So
Yes.
we're just not together. We're both Christians and we ended up with
Mm-hmm.
a child. And I don't believe that a child is a reason for marriage. I think that marriage
Mm,
takes into play a lot more than just having a child together. So that is
mm,
one of the reasons I did not pursue a marriage. And
mm-hmm.
yeah, the person have to have certain characteristics that you can that you're willing to live with for the rest of your life. And I know people are
Yes.
going to say, but you're a Christian and right, them never have the characteristics to create a child. We all go down paths that we sometimes thought would end up differently, right? But then when the
Yes.
circumstances play out, you realize that this is not the route to take. So you have to step back,
Mm,
assess the situation, and make an informed decision. And
yes.
that is how I am a single parent. I step back, and my son, from about 3 months, was always with me. So naturally, he fell in my arms, and I would not have had it any other way, anyways. So yeah, that's
Okay.
why I'm a single parent.
Very, very
So I don't
interesting.
know if that
And
is by choice or circum.
yeah, but you're telling it as it is, and I really appreciate that. You also brought up the interesting conversation about people getting married because of a pregnancy, because there's a child. And I think many persons rush into marriage because of this, and then it has disastrous consequences. No, not always, but I think there's
Remember,
so many other areas to look at. So
yes.
th- thank you for bringing that. We may want, I don't know, to have some more conversation on that. But Gerald, the your response to that, are you a single father by choice or circumstances? How did that happen for you? Sorry, Gerald, not hearing you again.
Sorry, I was talking to the mute.
Okay.
So
All right.
if if I am being frank, I
Yes.
became a single father by infidelity, not
Mm-hmm.
by my part though. Well, I got a child with my high school sweetheart, And I believe that it was the right thing to do at the time because, yes, we were both raised in a Christian home. So, therefore, the ultimate goal is to be married. And I have always been a dreamer, whereby the perfect family would be a nice house with a child and a white picket fence. I'm always about that dream. So when it didn't work out, I decided that since I was in a more stable position, I took the child. And after I took the child, I was saying to myself, is it the right thing to do? Why not just re-counsel and go to a counselor and even look about it from a religious perspective? It didn't work because the heart wants what the heart wants, and if the heart doesn't want you, what you have to offer, you just have to deal with it. So I took the child and I said, let me try and mold him in the best way possible. So yes, that's my story.
Oh, okay. I know there's so many parts to life, and the complexities of it. There are persons, Kevin Saunders says a child will not, with a father around, that is not so easy for a child to grow in the beauty of the child. Would take that child's mother to be truly a father and mother to make a child grow the way she wants, he or she has to grow up. So the challenge is there for you being a single father, and the fact that you can't control everything, right? It takes two persons to be able to make that decision as well. What are the lessons, though? I'm just asking both of you, if you were to look back and talk to yourself before the child came along, what would you say to yourself? And I'm just saying it for those who are listening, who are contemplating, being a parent, what are that kind of a thing. Talk to us, because this is the real thing, If you were to talk to yourself before the child comes, what would you have said to yourself, Gerald?
Save all if money, save every paycheck where you get. That would be the first thing. I would also I can say, but I am afraid to say because I don't want to offend or cause harm to the mother, I don't want my child to grow up someday and see this interview and say daddy trash mommy or daddy never walk me.
No. Yeah,
but I would have done things differently, very differently. Even though I love my son with all of my heart, I would have probably done it differently.
Okay.
For me, than just having a son, I am a minister of religion, and that reflected very negatively on the church in itself. And even today, I'm still, every time you walk out and you say, "Oh, I have a son," and they say, "Where's your wife?" And there's no wife.
Okay.
Some people are still judgmental, and you're still dealing with the repercussions even to today. So weighing it would be a hard battle to decide what to say to yourself to change the situation. So I'm just being like Paul and say, whatever the situation is, I've learned to be content. And I believe that my past, other than expensive, but I believe that my past is a very good foundation for my future. And I am serving a God that always have everything planned out. So I believe that it shall be better. Yeah.
Thank you for answering that hard question. Just those who are listening, we're gonna just have a time signal. So this is just a break. You're listening to the mailbox, Love 101, the family station, and it's right now. I think it's just 1 minute after 6 at this time. Monica Clark says, not every father is a father. Same goes for the mother. She says, not every father is a father. And the same thing goes for the mother. So, we're asking some difficult questions, but, because man and man are listening, and boy, if we can help somebody who don't have to go through the same road, who need, because you guys get wiser now, you have more wisdom, and you as it say, it better felt than told. so you guys now can share some stuff for those who are listening, and so we really appreciate you doing this. Gerald, what would you say to yourself, before the child, if you had it to talk to yourself again, what would you say?
Well, knowing how stubborn I am, I would went all in. Same way. Yes,
Wow.
because as I'd mentioned earlier, I am very passionate about my son, and if the union between myself and his mother actually produce such a lovely human being, this child outweighs all the negative. And it is often said, fortune favors the brave. So I am going in boldly because I do value my son, and I do have some. I believe I do have something in store for him. So yes, I would go all in, same way.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's what make life interesting, We're having different answers as well, and perspectives. But guys, how do you balance being a single father, your personal life, your work, and no, tell me, how do you do all of this balancing? Gerald, talk to us.
I keep telling everybody that thank God that I have a son and him grow rough. When when he was just born at 3 months, he's at about 3 or 4 different churches. During the night, sometimes you're at 2 different concerts. I remember one watch night. I feel like about hearing one watch night at 1 o'clock. We were on the toll because concerts are coming in. I'm a single parent. My closest
Yes.
relative is about 30 miles away from me. I'm kind of weird. I like living with anybody. So what you do, but trim on my side, get some feed and get a bag and move on with it. As
Yes.
he's now older, he's always at my foot. The only reason you don't see him now is because he's asleep. He's at everything.
Yes.
So balancing being a parent and personal life and work life, everything just come and just push into one like Play-Doh. You have a for Play-Doh, you squish them together. Everything's pushed into
Yes.
one. And me I work with it. It's hard. Trust
Yeah.
me, people it's hard because he currently goes to the daycare in the days. So by 12:30, and his daycare is almost like school. So by 12:30, me go and pick him up. So you drop him off in the morning, pick him up at 12:30, take him back to work with you. Come home in the evening and you have to cook because him weird him to eat food. If him eat curry chicken last night, daddy, a curry chicken me eat last night. Me no want this tonight. And then I kind of spoil him the So you have to cook every night and it just squish up together and you live
Yeah.
off a couple mere hours of sleep. But yeah, it is what it is. When he's older, you can look at it and laugh and tell him, so boy, and them something I music put up with it. I think it's just
Yeah.
the natural part of being a parent as well. It probably would be easier if you had a partner to watch while you're cooking, but it is what it is. And I'm
Wow.
enjoying the process.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate that, Karen. Gerald, how you do the balance, with all the different aspects of your life and know your son. Talk to us.
Wow, and wow. So it was a little bit rough at first,
Mm-hmm.
but being a project management professional, I am wired to set my tasks for beforehand. So I normally, just like how you have time signature, I normally have time signatures for practically pretty much every and anything. So I have my time when I normally call the daycare, and I do know when it's time to pick him up. I just center my life around those time signatures. Now the thing is, after I got mellowed, I am the type of person who brought my son any and anywhere. Anybody in radio land that knows Gerald, every time you see Gerald Jr. So if I am doing house tours, he's there with me. Even though I'm tidying up and he's pulling down the place. But anywhere you see me, you see Gerald Jr. If I am on the road, Gerald Jr. If I'm at the garage, Gerald Jr. is there. Every single way. Everywhere. I remember I got a lecturing gig. It was part-time. It was covering for a friend. And I had my son sitting in my lap and I was lecturing, and each time he was 2, almost 3, and he would be all over me on my head, and I have to be constantly apologizing to the class. And I remember one of the students said, "Sir, I do admire you, because if it was some parent, if it was some dad, they would just throw him aside or lock him in another room or something." And I find value in that, and that pushed me to just be there with him.
Wow. No, you gentlemen are of a different breed. Yeah, I must be honest. There are some men, and you know of it, men who have run away. They say this too hard. In fact, them say I can't bother with it. Gentlemen, have you ever considered running away? Have you ever considered that? No, this thing too difficult, yeah, man.
Yeah.
I am not going to. When it gets difficult, what allows you to stay, Karen, when it really gets so hard? Kachina James says, "I respect you both." Big up, gentlemen. But when it gets so hard and difficult, man, tell me, what is it that keeps you going? Talk to us.
It was just Saturday when I went on the road for a fitting, because I have an event coming up. And my friend, one of my BGBs, they were there, and I said to him, say, "Boy, sometimes I feel like me sending guy mother." Just when you are making fun. And then I'm not sure if you're not a parent, you might not understand. But if your child just look at you and hug you up, him not have to say nothing else, because he's very loving. So he might he might be in the living room watching something, and I'm in the kitchen, and he come and hug up my foot. Nothing said, just walk in and hug up my foot. And it's little things like those that really makes the workload seem minute.
Yes.
Little things like those are seeing him excel. I'm really happy that people say they don't know me do it. He's very obedient to me. And he's well mannered. I believe because he has always been out on the road since before him know Semaga Road. He's very obedient. So most of the problems that I would find or have, it's not about him being rude or rambunctious, if that is a word, or just being unruly. It's just trying to coordinate everything that is happening all at once. But when he hugs you or say, "Daddy, I love you," or them little something there, or for me, I'm buy a suit and put it on him and in go road and look shot.
It brings you joy. Yeah.
Man, them something there when he's a lover of music like me, or he will come and him say, "Daddy, teach me to sing." Those little things that he keeps doing makes the job so much enjoyable, and everything else just seem, it's worth it.
Wow. Kachina James says, "You gentlemen giving me goose pimples." And Carmen Locke says, "A child need both parents to mold him or her in the right direction, especially in today's world. But there are instances in which both parents are not together, and because of that, the child becomes rebellious for some, especially when the parents share custody. It confuses the child." And I want you guys to talk to me a little bit about relationship with the child's mother, and how do you navigate all of that. So before we touch that, I think your response, Gerald, you had shared the balancing already, right? But we're asked, I mean, have you ever felt like you want to run away when it gets so difficult? And what is it that keeps you being committed to your son?
The answer is no. I have never felt like I wanted to escape from being a father. I must commend my father, and I think I take this innate from him.
Mm-hmm.
My father shared 6 children with my mom, and that man, I salute him. That man has been there for us in every single way, every
Mm-hmm.
alley, so to speak. And because I actually benefited from this, I wanted to pass it on to my son. Whatever the cost, I just want to pass it on to my son. I just want him to have that one person who he can actually relate to and who will understand him. And
Yeah.
because I know there's gonna come a time when he really needs that support team, I have to be there, strong
Mm-hmm.
like the rock of Gibraltar, irrespective. I have to be there at every single time until he reach 18 and want to leave. You understand? But I have to be there. I have to be there. Yes. So that is my motivation.
Thank you, listeners. We're having conversation with Gerald Lowe of Continuum Global Services and with gospel recording artist Karen Clark. Now we have a little segment called Favorite Folder, and gentlemen, we need your perspective before we come back to this main segment. We need your frivolous perspective. It's neither right nor wrong, but we can have some fun with it. We're looking at, should a man look beyond beauty when selecting a partner? How can we learn about her beyond her beauty, beyond what you're seeing? I jokingly say, and I know this is not good theology, men look at the outward appearance, is God sees the heart. So the theologian will have a word with me. But tell me, gentlemen, how significant it is, beauty. Is beauty important? The woman being attractive to you, that she's pleasing to your eyes, and how do you get beyond being 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 whether overwhelmed with the beauty that you forget to look at some other important areas? Talk to us, Gerald.
Beauty is subjective. I don't think that anybody gets married to anyone who they're not attracted to, irrespective of how they look, except they're doing it for other reasons other than love. So beauty is subjective. Reality is we see looks first, and you could have nice like what if you're over there on that side of the room and I'm over here. I am going to actually see your physical appearance before I see what is on the inside. Now, I think that relationship starts in different ways. So don't just get up and be looking on the external for somebody. But yeah, you can look on the external, that's a plus as well. But you should always try to get to know the person first, guys. Why? Some Jezebel walk up and down. Some pretty face and look good body. But trust me, them worse than Delilah. And that is my few words in Jesus' name.
No. Thank you, Karen. Gerald, talk to us about the beauty factor, the attractiveness, the Coca-Cola shape, and all the things that reach you and you look with your eyes. How significant is that in you selecting a partner? And again, so do you get to know the character of the person? Is that important? How you balance those things? Talk to us. You're muted. I think you're muted again. Yes. So Gerald is gonna give us his response on this one. All right. We're talking about beauty, and is it significant Is it important for the man in selecting a partner? And how do you look beyond the beauty when you're selecting a partner? And how can you learn about her beyond that beauty that strikes you? Yes, Gerald. I think you're still muted. I think he's been impacted by her beauty. I think he's so, and listeners, you too can share your perspective as well, right? You can let us know the balance in between beauty and knowing the character of the person. Should a man look beyond beauty? And then if a person say, boy, I'm not marrying because I don't find you attractive, and somebody say, but don't look at that. What about the deeper things? The person is anointed, the person is gifted, the person is walking in purpose, and filled with characteristics from God. So even if you don't like what you see, after a while, you're going to grow to love the person. Do you believe in that kind of a perspective? So Gerald, you're back.
Yes. So, in a biblical sense, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder.
Mm-hmm.
But image means something to
Mm-hmm.
me. And I don't want to say that I am a showboat, but whenever I go out, I must be able to comfortably say, this is my wife or this is my
Mm-hmm.
partner. I do not want to be in a position whereby I'm murmuring underneath my breath and holding down my head. That is just not cool. So what I normally do is, if they do satisfy the
Sorry, we're losing you again. We're not hearing you, Gerald. Gerald. Sorry, Gerald. Gerald, we're not hearing you. Can you hear me? Gerald, we're not hearing you. Okay. Carmen says, I'm a woman, but you're talking the truth. There are some terrible, pretty face women out there. So that is Carmen. We okay. So we're gonna get back to that, but we're gonna wrap up that section. Talking just a little bit about the beauty. Karen, you wanted to say anything before we leave that?
Well, I think I said it already.
Yeah.
Well, as I
Okay.
said before, attraction is relative and subjective.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just the looks. If you're attracted
Okay.
to someone, you're attracted to their physical as well as what they bring to the table. So that is where it lies.
Okay. Gerald, I think we lost a little from you just at the end there.
Oh, I was closing by saying what I would normally do is just do a mini aptitude test just to ensure that we are both on the same page, and whatever our goals are, they
Mm-hmm.
intertwine with mine, or vice versa, and
Mm-hmm.
how much I can compromise without changing who I am and what I stand for.
Okay, thank you. That was favorite folder. We go back to the main segment, gentlemen. Thank you so much for being a sport and sharing your perspective on that. No. Tell us where do you think you got what fatherhood means? When you look back at your life, where do you learn what a good father looks like? Was it the church? Was it your father? Was it the Bible? Was it the brethren them? When you think of it now, Keran, where did you learn to be a good father? Where did that come from?
A, a good father for me. I learned from a mixture of everything that life had to offer. I looked at what was there and I tried to remember what I hated most about growing up and the way in which my biological father was a host. I didn't turn up until I was 25. And then I looked
Oh.
at how my stepfather, he would step up and be a really good father to me. Um,
Hmm.
despite the fact that we never, well, we have international listeners, let me talk properly. I wasn't the most welcoming, right? I don't think that I really opened my heart and say, here am I, be a father to me. But when I assess how he did his thing, I appreciate him for always being there, knowing that he could have just not bothered with my mother. But he took her while she was, well, I was 3 months, pretty young, and he stood up as a father. I looked at the church, I saw the way in which leaders would take care of the flock. And also movies, I watched movies and see, as people might not believe it, but there are some good movies out there that teaches you how to deal with certain conflicts and whatnot. So it's a mixture of everything that society and life has to offer. And I just, it's like eating meat, you eat the flesh and spit out the bone. I chose the good and I left what I could not relate to or I don't understand. And I'm still learning. So I'm still learning as I go along. And I'm trying to, research the new way to do it. So you don't lick them like what you were accustomed to. But as I say, it's a mixture of everything.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. Gerald, where did you learn to be a father? What were the sources, the influences, as best as possible? Share that with us.
It all started with my father. And I had mentioned earlier in the program that my father gave me a mental portrait of what a father should do in their child's life. So after he gave me that portrait, I went and created one of my own, but in similar context and content. The other is I am just tired of Jamaicans saying that men are not responsible as it relates to fatherhood. I wanted to make an indent. I wanted to make a mark. No matter how small it is, I want to be able to stand and beat my chest and said, I am not only a father, but a dad. So yes, those are my driven.
Wow. So here it is now. What is it that you want your son to remember? What is it that you want to instill in your son? You have this wonderful gift, this blessing that you have to nurture, give roots and wings. Gentlemen, speak to us, Keron. What is it that when you think of your responsibility as a father, what are some of the things that you want to leave with your child, and how are you going to do that?
All right. So what I would like to leave with my child is that I want to teach him to be confident in himself. I suffered for a number of years, almost I think 12 or so years or more, with heavy depression to the point of suicide. Right?
Oh.
And I attempted suicide about 3 or 4 times. And
wow,
as we can see, never the God
They're still here.
So yes, man, because the purpose can't die. So I want to teach my son a number of things. So to rely on God, how to have confidence in himself. I want to leave with him that there's always somebody out there that loves you, and that is, no matter what happens, you can't do nothing that is so terrible that your father will not be there. There's a song, his birthday was last month, and there's a song that I did a cover of. It's called Come Out of Hiding by Stephanie Gersina, and it says, the chorus, I love you before you knew it was love. I chose this road. I fashioned it a bit. And it says, you are the one that I'm always thinking of when I make every decision. There's nothing you can do that will change my love for you. And I want to teach him that, because I don't think that society teaches men and boys that it is okay to be loved and you can be loved. You're not an animal, you're not a caveman that is just here going through life to work and then I have to always be this tough war without emotions. I want to teach my son how to be a perfect man. I know say that kind of hard, but I want to teach him how to be successful in life, in church, with relationship, financially. Just teach him a lot of things. If I start telling him what the things I'm more left with him, next week, then time I will say like that. But just want to give him an overall foundation So that
Yes.
when he goes into life, when he grows up and become a man of age, he will be an example to many and a father to his own children.
Oh, thank you, Karen. Really some powerful words there. Gerald, what is it you want to leave with your son? You know, when you think of him and the kind of man, boy to man that you want him to be. What are some of the things you want to leave and deposit inside of him? Talk to us.
Firstly, discipline. I want my son to be a good moral construct.
Mm,
I also want him to carry on the never ending relay of fatherhood.
mm.
Yes, I want my son to just say, okay, I garnered these from my dad. He's a strong disciplinarian, he's hardworking, he's ambitious. So I want to actually pull these away from him because I can give him certain attributes, but I want him to need it because there's
Mhm.
a strong difference between want and need. I want him to need it. So that's why I am setting an example, one where he can just follow in my footsteps, or even overstep mine, and said, okay, these are some strong moral values, and I want to build on them. And when it is my time to be a father, I can pass it on as well as the baton of an astute father to his child.
Thank you. Oh, that's a lot there to deposit and to guide your son into. Carmen
Thank
says,
you.
yeah, Carmen says compatible, understanding each other's, trusting God to lead you in the right direction are some of the things you should pray about in a woman or a man. Gentlemen, we're almost at the end of the show, but I want you to talk to some one to the men who may be single parents, a father specifically, and does love of a father affect the child, and how do you define love? Because sometimes we want to alienate love as if it belongs to just women, but is there a love for the father to the son? So man and man, you know, loving your son. How do you see that? And then speak in this, well, I just say 30 seconds each, as it were, about encouraging single men and their responsibility. Karen.
Okay, so the best construct for what love looks like is that we can look at is look at God the Father, and Jesus the Son. He loved his son without inhibition, limitations, or anything. And I believe that right there is just the best foundation that we can live on. It is okay as a father to love your son, and it is okay as a father to tell your son you love them. You know, say you have no little dirty, filthy thoughts in your mind, and you have to prepare your child that when he grows older, he is not alienated, that he becomes a vagabond and a fugitive and turn problem to society. It is your responsibility to mold that gift that God gave you. And it is okay to feel uncertain and unsure, and where there and ask for help if you need help. It is okay. 30 seconds.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Gerald, final few words there.
Thank you. So I believe love is universal. It is universal. Love has no bound. And I want to be able to show my son true unconditioned love because I am gonna groom him in a way that he understand what love is, and he will understand that when daddy says that he loves him, it is not anything of an effeminate characteristic. It is just pure fatherly love. So whenever a female might come and she might tell him these nice little sweet stuffs, he can know that this love that you're sharing to me is short-lived because I have already experienced what true love is like. I am not gonna grow him to be segmented, but I just want to show him all the love there is because love is universal and love is unconditional. When you love, you really love. There's no I love or low love to it. Love is love.
Thank you. Maria Scott says, You guys are good fathers, and I'm so proud how you think and play your daddy roles in your child's life. Don't stop what you both are doing. In the end, you'll be so proud of yourself. Well, thanks to my producer, Tony K. Bromfield. Thanks to Neeson Williams for technical support. We give thanks to the real man, them single fathers in the place. Thank you so much, Gerald Lowe and Karen Clark. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming again and sharing from your heart. For information on how to get copies of this program, call our production department at 876-968-9597 or download the podcast via our mobile app. Listen again next week for another Mailbox, the program designed by men with guests who are men, hosted by men. I'm Kevin Bailey. Man, they are.
I am a man. I am a man. I am a man. I am a man. Yes.